there's another team that made some pretty good moves as well. Uh, I want to focus on the Blazers real quick because this can kind of get lost with everything that happened yesterday. So Cam Reddish is now on the Portland Trailblazers,
Mm-hmm.
right? And the Knicks got Josh Hart. To me, the winners in this trade are Portland for sure because they got a lot of protected first round pick in the trade. However, that pick could turn into like 4 second round picks if it's not in the lottery. So like, I mean, if it gets to the lottery and the Knicks get the pick, they'll send 4 second round picks over. So like, I feel like the Blazers won that trade because Cam Reddish is a valuable piece to have as a forward spot. It was hard for him to get minutes with the Knicks. They have an abundance of forwards there. So, and then you did Josh Hart, like who's a guard. I mean, he can play the wing spot too, but it's more of a guard. So, I just like that prospect with the Blazers. The Blazers made another move too, I think, to help bolster the roster. They also got, let's see real quick. Oh, Matisse Thybulle. Some good defense. Great defense. They did that in a 3-team trade. The Sixers got Jalen McDaniels, and the Hornets got I hope I pronounce his name. But dude.
Better than me, bro.
But dude, I like that for the Blazers, man. They clearly made moves to fill in the needs on the roster. Does it really boost it? Not very much after the trades we had yesterday. Like, not too much. But I like those moves despite the recent trades, though. Those are positive moves. You just need like another good bona fide superstar talent. At least one more.
Yeah. I like the like you said, the Cam Reddish move is kind of underrated to me because he, like you said, wasn't getting a lot of time in New York with the Knicks. But when you look at his game, his skill, his size, Josh Hart obviously can do a lot of things for you as far as like being that glue guy, kind of role playing, playing good D on the wing, getting the rebounds, pushing in transition. But Cam adds size, he adds some length on defense, and he can score very well. He can shoot, and that's gonna add to their playoff depth if they try to make a run, giving a little bit of a lesser load to Dame, to Anthony Simons, all those guys. So good move. And they also got rid of Gary Payton II.
Yeah, go back to the Warriors.
Back to the Warriors. So I think they also put some picks. So they're in good shape, you know. But like you said, it's just so much talent in the West now. That's going to be hard for them regardless, even though they did make some improvements.
Yeah, they did. It's going to be tough. Another significant move is Jay Crowder finally gets to the Bucks. We've been hearing that news for a while now. A lot of folks are interested in Jay Crowder. They told Jay Crowder to get traded to the Nets first. And then finally found his home with the Bucks. Jay Crowder tweeted, like it was a celebratory type tweet, like, I'm glad to be gone, basically. I'm paraphrasing here. Y'all can look it up. Basically, the man's happy that Drummond with the Suns is over. I don't know what caused it, though. Because I thought Jay Crowder is clearly a valuable piece. I'm not sure what kind of tarnished their relationship with the Suns. I don't know what happened there.
I mean, getting blown out by 42 in the playoffs, it's they'll put a pretty bad damper on my mood as a player. So whatever the aftermath was, I'm sure stemmed from
Yeah.
But
yeah, but I like that move with the Bucks. That feels a need for them as well. So
it was going to be tough. It was going to play important minutes. So good move.
Yeah, that pushes the needle for the Bucks a little bit. They're still at the top of the East. And the Pacers got George Hill, Serge Ibaka in that trade as well. So the Pacers are still kind of in rebuild mode, but they can still make a push for the playoffs. So
Yeah, they have a chance too. I know they either waived or bought out Ibaka so he can sign anywhere.
that's
But
good. So they bought him out. That's good. I didn't know that.
I think that with their young all-star, Tyrese Halliburton, Miles Turner just signed recently for a contract extension. They have a good. I can see them building. Buddy Hield. I can see them making some moves and making the playoffs, but we'll see where it goes.
We'll see. There's a couple like low key moves I want to ask you about. One, can you make this make sense to me? Why did the Nuggets trade Bones Highland? That's the one I really didn't get. Why would you trade him for 2 second-round picks? By the way, I don't get that one.
To the Clippers, you in the same conference.
Exactly. You know how much that helps the Clippers? I
mean,
don't get that one, man. I can't make sense of that one.
I thought that was a bad idea because they got draft picks and they're like, I feel like the Nuggets have a very good chance to be in the NBA championship, and Bones Highland to me is part of that success because he's not a starting guard for them, but he plays some significant minutes and he can score. Like he's basically a Swiss Army knife 6-man type player off the bench who can give you anywhere from 10 to 20 off the bench any given night. To give that up for picks, it's like, why you have the system right now, you have the pieces right now. Why not keep that or at least get somebody else in return who can contribute right now? Top team in the West. I can't make sense of that one. I don't get it. The only thing I can think of is if they would have made another move to get somebody else, but
okay.
They didn't really get anything significant to me.
Oh, okay. I see what's going on. So there's been some frustration between him and the team. So one, he was falling out of the rotation for like about the past 2 weeks, and Highland didn't really help the situation when he walked off the bench in the game against the OKC about 2 weeks ago. So however, some of his teammates asked for him not to be traded, like Michael Porter Jr. So anyway, that's just the result of it. I was like, there's got to be something else to cause that to happen, because that makes no sense. So knowing the frustration and you fall out the rotation, that's fine. But you know what? I'm still called stupid, because why would you trade it to the same conference though? You at least trade it to a different conference.
No, you're trading it to one of your direct competitors who's also hunting for a championship.
Exactly. At least trade to the East or something. Like, I don't know. I still don't say that's a bad move.
Good for the Clippers though.
And good for Bones. Like, he can definitely help the Clippers.
I know. Come in and open up, fill that gap as far as like their bench scoring load.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I like how the Hawks made some interesting moves. They got Bruno Fernando again. They got him back. They got Garrison Matthews in the trade they did with the Rockets. But this is the main thing I really like. We got to talk about this trade too in a second. But there's a 3-team trade that was done today. The Hawks got Steve Bay. Detroit got James Wiseman. Golden State got Kevin Knox and 5 second-round picks. We can probably break this trade down as to like what we like about it, what we don't like. The thing that's not the biggest surprise is that James Wiseman got traded. I mean, we were talking about him on the podcast for a minute. You know, did a stint down in G League. No one's ever heard of a lottery pick going down to the G League. You know, he just did not perform to his potential. Like, But I do like the potential of him playing alongside other young talent, you know, especially Cade Cunningham. Um, so I'm looking forward to see. Maybe you can get a resurgence. You know, sometimes you just need a restart. Sometimes you need a fresh start over.
Yeah.
See something new. So we'll see. What are your thoughts on the trade between those three teams?
The James Wiseman move to Detroit, like you said, not exactly surprising that he was traded. It's just, to me, Detroit as a location, it doesn't like, to me, maybe I'm just looking at it from a basketball perspective. He's going to be, I guess, backup center to Marvin Bagley Jr., who's already there, who kind of is in the same boat as him. So it's like, do they really need? And plus, they're also kind of tanking, so they're going for Wembanyama. So why add another front court player? Wiseman obviously had his struggles being a young player, basically 1 year in college, sort of, and he had injury issues. It's kind of disappointing because I feel like with Golden State, he had the perfect opportunity to develop under a great system. Just didn't work out. But like you said, maybe it's, fits aren't always things aren't always what they seem, and the fit is different. The Saddiq Bey trade is like really a big move because he was a player. He's a player that's very capable of being like a fringe all-star type player, 20-point per game type scorer. So
exactly,
Golden State was getting them, but then they shifted and got Kevin Knox, and he went to Atlanta, which is interesting. So,
yeah, at first I thought Saddiq Bey went to the Warriors. I was about to say, whoa, okay, I like that more too. But they just, I guess they're like, we good. I mean, to be honest, it would be kind of hard for them to find a rotation because they already got like players in those spots. You still got dude's slipping on mine right now, but like, of course, you got Wiggins. Draymond's gonna be playing. What's the dude's name? Jonathan Kuminga. There we go. Kuminga. So like, between those three players, that front court rotation, it's gonna be hard for them to find a spot there. So, but they got 4 second-round picks out of that, so that's a lot for the Warriors. Not 4 or 5 second-round picks. And Kevin Knox, Kevin Knox not gonna see any playing time, so it's like,
yeah.
Am I wrong? I ain't no disrespect, but he's not gonna see any playing time with that roster, unless like injuries or something. I don't know, or a blowout.
He might get a few minutes, but I don't see him making a huge impact.
He's right.
This to Kevin Knox, but yeah, I wouldn't see a big role right now.
He's another one of those players that kind of like, we gotta talk about this one day, like go through like some of the hype draft picks that kind of just like settle down, like we just talked about Marvin Bagley. Kevin Knox was another one. So yeah, but love the move for the Hawks though.
Saddiq Bey adds another guy who can get you some baskets. Also 3D type player, he's got size and adds a little bit of less of a load, I guess, on Trae Young and Murray and all those guys. So, not a bad move.
Yeah, it's not bad at all. Another move that was kind of competitive. We'll talk about these last two. We'll be done. The Grizzlies actually made a move along with the Clippers and the Rockets. So, the Rockets got Danny Green. The Clippers got Eric Gordon. 3 second-round picks in the pick swap. And Memphis got Luke Kennard. All these teams are definitely in the West. Some of them are more competitive than others for sure. But for Memphis, you added shooting in Luke Kennard. You needed that. At the same time, the Clippers do get a shooter in Eric Gordon, a proven veteran in the league. On a good value deal. Like you get a lot of picks out of that. Honestly, Eric Gordon has a big contract, so that's probably the picks coming in because he has not the best contract in the world. I don't remember the exact number right now, but it's a big number. And he got that back when he was playing like James Harden and Chris Paul. So I like the move for the Clippers. I like the move for the Grizzlies. It doesn't really move the needle too much for me for the Grizzlies. But for the Clippers, that team just has so much depth on it. Along with the addition of Bones Highland, Aaron Gordon, you don't know who they'll fill in that point guard spot in the buyout market. I'm like, man, it's gonna be tough.
With them adding Eric Gordon, to me, it makes it more likely that they're gonna try to buy it once Westbrook gets bought out. He's heading to the Clippers, which will be hilarious to see because he's gonna have Kawhi and Paul. Paul's played with him, played great. Kawhi can play probably with anybody. I don't think he'll have a lot of issues. Bones Highland can shoot. Eric Gordon, play with him, can shoot. Then the other Clippers, and if they go against the Lakers, beat up.
Yo, we didn't talk about this either, man. What the Mavs go against the Suns too?
Everybody's waiting for that game. I saw it on Twitter. Like they changed that. You remember last year the beef between Booker and Luka?
Oh yeah.
They already put the graphic up of Kyrie's face over Luka with KD over. Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
Oh, okay. I love the NBA.
It's the script writers were on all the Starbucks they had overtime just writing away for this season.
Man, it's so good. So yeah, we both like the moves. It all depends on how they finalize the rosters, in this buyout market. And finally, I'd like to talk about this one just because the Pelicans. The Pelicans got Josh Richardson, and the Spurs got Devontae Graham. Mm-hmm. So I like this move for the Pelicans. They get a proven defender in Josh Richardson. He can shoot as well a little bit. And the West is just so tough. And on the overall landscape post the trade deadline, I'm not sure that they're like the top contenders anymore. Definitely not anymore. I would say for me, it'll be the Suns. The Nuggets are still up there. The Warriors. That's about it, man. This is tough. I mean, they got some of these different stacked teams. I I don't trust Dallas yet. I gotta see more.
No, I'm just saying with Steph he's got a.
He did get hurt again though. Yeah, that's true.
But Clay's been great.
He has, but at the same time, I thought the Warriors would have fallen out. Man, they didn't the last time he was hurt. So, all right, y'all showed me. So I'm gonna trust that y'all still be there.
That's a good point.
I did call him out. I was like, "There's no way y'all gonna still be in the playoff hunt." I'm like, "Oh, not." So I'm expecting them to still be there. Shout out to Steve Kerr. So,
definitely.
Yeah.
Good point.
But it doesn't really push the needle too much for the Pelicans, man. It's tough. It's rough out here if you're a basketball player in the West and you really want to win a championship. It's tough, man.
It's wide open right now. With New Orleans, I like the addition with Josh Richardson. I like that move because Devontae Graham honestly wasn't giving you much in his minutes. He maybe some shooting, but I'll say that they have still a pretty deep team when you look at Bi, who's back, who's been playing good, CJ, Alvarado, Herb Jones, Trey Murphy, like those guys, they have a lot of length. They have youth. Zion, once he gets back from injury, they're gonna be, and they were like before Zion's injury, they were second, third in the West. Adding Josh Richardson, young veteran player who can still like play make, who can obviously defend, shoot a little bit. It's gonna take them a long way, I feel like. It's just staying healthy and catching up with now a new and improved stacked Western Conference. It's that I ain't gonna lie, the Western Conference as a conference just like destroyed the trade deadline. Like there's nothing that happened in the East besides what, Jay Crowder, Sadiq Bey.
Jay Crowder and y'all traded Dwayne Dedman finally. We ain't talk about that. But, y'all traded your boy. And he's about to get bought out too, so he's about to be a free agent too. So we'll see where he goes.
I'm eyeing a few for Miami as far as this buyout market that I think we should make the effort to do to make some room for, but we'll see.
I mean, y'all definitely gotta make some more moves it's y'all golden opportunity right now, how weak the East is compared to the West. Like, are y'all, do you want them to get Westbrook?
I wouldn't be mad at that. I personally like Russell Westbrook. My thing with our roster right now, our shooters have been out of rotation a lot. Duncan Robinson has had injuries. We've had a lot of injuries. So the only thing is, like, if we get them back and we bring Westbrook in, I'll be okay with that. It's just like, as I look at the team right now, it could work, but it's also, I'll put it this way. It's an improvement over our current point guard, and there's no slight to him.
Yeah.
If it happens, I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I was watching the game when LeBron. We got to talk about that next too. Got the record. Russ was still showing flashes, man. Like he's so fast still. He is still fast. He's still athletic. He can really push the pace. He was knocking down threes too. Dude made like 4 threes that night, I think.
He improved his jump shot from last year, and I feel like that was obviously a big talking point all year.
Yeah.
He put in effort. He honestly, I'm really proud of like his time. Like I said, I never thought that he was falling off. I feel like it was always about the fit. I feel like it was always everyone else micro analyzing and putting them under this microscope.
For sure. I mean, this dude took a Wizards team to the playoffs, man. Like, and
not only that, he averaged a triple double doing it.
Exactly. Like it's hard for me to believe that he's just washed. I don't think he's just washed. He just needs fit, just like most players do in all sports. It depends on fit. And who else you got around you, man? So, and we already know how it is, the narrative of playing with LeBron James, man. LeBron James' status is so iconic that fans will find anything else to blame or to scapegoat rather than someone they really idolize as a person. Yeah. So that goes across multiple fan bases. So that's where the narrative comes, where it's hard to play with LeBron James. So I'm interested to see how D'Lo will play with LeBron James returning to LA, where he was once traded from. So
I know a lot of returning guys in this year's trade deadline. It was so funny.
It was. It's very funny, but man, the NBA does not disappoint with the trade deadline, and so entertaining. So entertaining, man.